Hi, folks. I hope you're well. So, yes, with regards to church, yeah, you see this stupidity, and again, you won't admit it because people won't be honest about it, but you can see the way. When I said about the fashion of getting pastors from Africa or America, the reason is obviously God wanted an African pastor, a certain pastor from Africa, to go to a church in England or Scotland or Wales or whatever, to a certain church because that pastor was the right pastor for that church, right? Even though he comes from a completely different country. Okay. When other churches see that church is doing well with that pastor from Africa, they think the reason is that pastor is from Africa. So therefore, they go to Africa to get pastors for their church. They never think maybe God got the right pastor for that church, even though that pastor was from Africa. So for your church, go to God for the right pastor. They won't do that. Even the way that churches do things, what do? Copy, paste. Yeah, sorry, not pass, paste. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. That's what they do. So now basically most churches in the world do the same sort of service. Yeah. They have a few songs, they talk about the issues with the church and what the people need to know, a few prayers, and then someone talking for 45 minutes. Right? That's what they do in most churches. Why? Because they copy and paste. Yeah. Brain doesn't work, yeah. Oh, teeth, yes. The one at the top is okay now. That's not painful. But the one in the bottom, oh, yes, that really hurts. So, yeah, I phoned the dead, what's it called? The people you go to for your teeth. And I've got a time for tomorrow to go there. And what they're going to do is, yeah, what's it called? Yeah, when they, what is it called? What do they do? Yeah, take that picture. Yeah, for the teeth in the air. They're going to do that. Nothing else. And then they will say, okay, there'll be another day you have to come. So therefore it'll be next week. So therefore, yeah. I've told them already. I don't want that tooth to be taken away. No chance. I want it to be fixed rather than, taken away because I need it. Yeah. If they say no, then okay. I will say, okay, I will deal with it myself. Do what you can for the pain, but then, okay, no, I will try to go with someone else and see if they can actually deal with it. Because obviously, if it's something you can deal with and still have the tooth, then yeah, that's what I want. Anyway, back to the churches. Yeah. Well, it's like me. I know for the right church, I can help those people in the right church. If the people in a church are ready, I can help them. But a different church, nope, I can't do much for them at all. I know that. And that's why, yeah, I don't try to go to churches and say I should be the person in charge. No. Because it's up to God. It's not up to me, it's up to God. If it's the right church, then yes, it will work. And yeah, then every other church will basically copy and paste. Even though I will tell them don't do that, but they will still do it. Will they? Of course they will, yeah. They will still do that, yes. So there you go. It is what it is. Yeah. Copy and paste. That's what they do. And that's why you know it's from the world. Because what do they do in the world? If there's a fast food place, what do? They look at the other fast food places and copy and paste. Don't they? Really? They change a few things, but they copy and paste. Because they know it works. Why would you do it completely different if you know it works? You copy and paste. That's what you do. That's how the world works. You know, companies do the same. Most companies do the same thing. Schools. Yeah, most of the schools in England are exactly the same. You know, the private ones are the same as most of the private ones. And the normal ones for people who don't have the money to go to the private ones are exactly the same as all the ones in every town. Because what do? Copy, paste. If it's working, use it. So when the church does that, that's the world's way. So you know, everything the church does is the world's way. As I said, basically, as I said, I've said before so many times, the speaker is trained in the world's way. Because again, most people think, no, a Bible college is completely different to the normal college. No, it's not. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. The way they do things has to be the same because it's a college. That's why they called it a Bible college, because it's basically the same. You have 30 people in one class and someone teaching them, and they can't teach all of them different because they don't have the time. So therefore, it's like every college, a factory. It's the world's way, how to train people, right? And they chose the world's way to train people because at that time, again, yeah. So is it God's way? No. But again, maybe when the first Bible college was created, yeah, maybe things were working a little bit better. So every church said, oh, we have to use that way to train our people. Well, did God tell you to do that? Nope. No. No. Well, churches should be like people. Every person is completely different. Well, not completely different, but different from every other person, basically. The churches should be the same. But again, churches should be the way that God needs, well, the way that God chooses, and what the area and the people in the church need. The only one who could choose that is God. Because that's the point. What is a church about? Yeah, from the Bible point, what is a church about? It's about God's people, right? Even though they're not really God's people, but there you go. Well, they decided they don't want to be God's people, just like the Jewish people decided they wanted to be have a king and then government and whatever. They wanted to be the same as the world, basically. And the church decided the same. Cool. So, but originally, it was supposed to be teaching people and helping people to walk in God's way. Do they do that? No, they don't teach people, and they will never help people to walk in God's way. You know that. Because again, teaching people means you have to say to someone, you're wrong. And they can't bloody do that because maybe they will offend someone and they could be sacked by doing that. Because again, if churches think it's okay to ban people for offending people, then of course, if the pastor offends people in the church, boom, you're gone. In the end, you're gone. The first time, maybe not. But after a few times doing it, you're gone. You're out. Yeah. And again, if it's a pastor, if the pastor is in the wrong church, it will never work. But they never think about that. Is it the right pastor for us? Again, the Pentecostal church down there, they had a pastor from Spain and he wanted all the control, right? And he wanted, people to have a safe place and not offend people, that sort of crap. What did they do for the next one? They get someone from America that's basically the same. Maybe he doesn't want all the control, but what he wants is a safe place and, not to offend people. To actually please people again. Who chose that? Was it God or was it the people? It was the people. The people choose that. And again, people think if they pray about it first, that's good enough. Right? Well, the problem is, did you pray about it and wait for God to tell you what to do? Nope. We just prayed for it. We just prayed about it, saying, God, help us to choose the right person. Okay. Amen. Bye-bye. That's good enough. And just do it yourself. And pretending because you prayed, that was the right way. That's never been the right way. Praying is not about that. Yeah, and you can blame God because you prayed first, didn't you? Yeah. But that's the point, isn't it? Really? Yeah. You can't blame God. It's not God's fault. You didn't wait on him for the answer, did you? You prayed and you just got on with it. Yeah. God, lead me. Okay, that's good enough. Bye-bye. I can do it myself now. Because I've asked you to lead me, therefore, whatever I do, it's you leading me. Right? Because I asked you to lead me. That's what they do. Was it ever true? No. No. Was it ever God's way? No. But that's what they do. So it's not from God. They're not from God. So there you go. Enjoy. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.